Hello! Hello, chat. Hello, hello, hello. Hey guys, hey Asian man, welcome Asian man. Yes, you have arrived. Yes, Didi, thank you for reminding me. I did not put last week's stream in the playlist. So I just did that. Thank you for reminding. Yuhin Tom, what's up, Yuhin Tom? Nice of you to join again. Hey Losh. Hey Korea. Hey Streety McMeaty. What's up? Dun, dun, dun. Hey Leia. Leia. How do you say your name? Hi Nikki. What's up, Hope? What's up, Cupie? Happy New Year, you guys. Happy Lunar New Year and happy Valentine's. It is the year of the ox, and we celebrate it by doing a reading that we do every week. What's up, Katie? It's snowing tomorrow, and you live in the south. Wait, why is it snowing? I never get snow. I think you're more south than me. And how come I'm not getting snow? That's not fair. Did you guys celebrate New Year's? Because I did. I didn't go anywhere. I just went to my parents' and we had dinner like usual. Well, not like usual. Usual for this year. Hopefully next year is better. Yeah, we just had the normal, like, traditional foods. Like, oh, do you guys know what Chinese roasted crispy pork is? I don't know what you call it. The roasted crispy pork. It's pork that's roasted, and the skin is super crispy. Oh, well, I have the internet. I can show you, right? Chinese roasted crispy pork. Oh, this thing. Yeah. We have this every New Year's, and it's amazing. So this is, well, if you're not a vegan, it's amazing. So yeah, it's pork belly, and then here's a pork skin, but it's all very fried and crispy, and it's crunchy, and it tastes amazing. You celebrated in Animal Crossing? Okay. Oh, Sean, thank you. Happy New Year to you too. Your mom makes it? Ah, they are. Yes, it's like one of my favorite stuff to eat. It's like the one thing I look forward to every, like, big family gathering. Yeah. You tried making it at home and you failed so hard. How did you fail? What did it taste like when you made it, or when you tried to make it? Peking duck is good too. I think this is better than Peking duck. This is so amazing. Yeah, they are crispy. Yep. Yeah. So, every New Year's, I'm Vietnamese, so my whole dad's side of the family lives in Vietnam. Wait, let me change the camera. Yeah, my whole dad's side of the family lives in Vietnam, so every year we call them for New Year's, and it's so awkward because I never know what to say. It's always the conversation is always like this. So you gotta call, your uncles and aunts to wish them a happy New Year, right, and to wish them luck and stuff in the next for this year, for the coming year. Yeah. It's a thing. It's a tradition. So the call would go like this. The call would go like, "Hi, Uncle. Are you well?" And Uncle goes, "Yeah, I'm well. Are you well?" "Yes, I'm very well." And then comes the pause and the awkward silence because you have no idea what to say. Because you realize, like, oh, I have no idea what to say. I don't know about your life. I don't know anything about your life. I know nothing. Yeah. But luckily, to this year we have COVID to talk about, so that's the one topic that I just kept coming back to. Yeah, Vietnam is I think they're handling COVID way better than we are. They're going around. It's not normal, but they're still going around like having gatherings and going to restaurants and stuff. Yeah, while we're locked down. That awkward family call. Yeah, New Year's over there is way better than New Year's here. Back in Vietnam, my family would get together and they would get there would be like a lot of people and they would invite people from all over Vietnam, right? Relatives and distant relatives. Everyone gets together in the countryside. Yeah. So we have our family has this house that used to be my grandfather's house, but then he passed away. So now my uncle takes care of it. And it's pretty big, and it's in the countryside. So every New Year, they all get to my Vietnamese relatives. They all get together in that house, and they all have a great time and with good food and stuff like that. Yeah, there's a lot of people, so it's a big deal over there. And they wouldn't celebrate for just one day. I think it's 2 days that they celebrate. They used to celebrate for a whole week, all right, and then the rich people would celebrate for like 10 days. So it'll be 10 days of eating and drinking and having fun. Yeah, sounds great. Nowadays, they do like 2 days, I believe, of celebration. Good for them, you know. It's not as big here. Awkward silence. So, did you watch the end of Game of Thrones? Yeah, see, I can't even ask them anything, okay? Because we have nothing in common. They don't watch the same TV shows over there, right? They don't watch the same movies. I can't talk about that. And plus, my Vietnamese is not excellent. Like it's passable, but it's not like I don't know. It's not great. All right, it's not like I can't like, joke around, and I don't get a lot of the idioms that they say. So yeah, those calls are very awkward. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, so I hope your New Year's was good, and I hope your Valentine's is good. Today's Valentine's, isn't it? Yeah, I just woke up. I'm very out of it today, guys. I just woke up after a nap, so hopefully this goes well. Dun, dun, dun. Speak Vietnamese now? No, I will not. I do have some food. So we have some traditional like candies and stuff. And this year, my dad, since he has nothing to do this year because of COVID, he made some of these candies, which is pretty amazing. So I'll eat some. I have two types. Let me show you the first type. Now, I don't know what these are called in English. Okay. Check this out. Hello. I think these are like black sesame seeds. Is that a thing? Yeah, these are black and peanuts with coated with and stuck together with honey and sugar, I believe. Yeah, this is called cook yolk in Vietnamese, and it translates to rat shit. Yes, it does. I'm not kidding. That's what it says. I'm sure. Okay, that's what we call it in our family. I'm sure there's an actual name for it, but no one calls it that. Okay, I'm sure this is the colloquial word for it, but it's rat shit. Okay, this is black and it looks like shit. And the problem with eating this is that the black pieces get onto your teeth and stuck on your teeth for a while. So I have water. I hope I can wash it all out. My dad made this. by himself, which is pretty impressive. Hmm. Your Chinese friend gave that to you. All right. Did you like it? Yeah, this is one of the traditional things that we eat. It's really good. That's some good rat shit. Hmm. How do you say I'm hungry in Vietnamese? Um, tôi đói bụng quá. Tôi đói bụng quá. I'm very hungry. Yeah. My Vietnamese is not great, but I know how to say that. Alright, I'll save the other candy for later. See, now all the sesame is stuck into my teeth, stuck on my teeth. Hey, Amy, welcome. That's right, my dad can fix roofs and make candy. He's great. He just learned it for this year, so it's pretty impressive that how good it tastes. The problem is it's stuck to your teeth. That's sugar. All right, well there you go. Ate some rat shit. Okay, so what happened last week? Last chapter. Not a lot, honestly. It was a lot of fighting. Okay, so Ling Hu Chong, our hero, meets this old dude in a white robe. His name is Xian Wen Tian. And he seems to be this. He's old, but he seems to be a really strong guy. So his basic last chapter was basically him and this guy versus 100 other fighters. Right? So, but they're doing pretty well against these fighters. And then one thing I want to talk about is that Wen Tian at one point uses this, or he pretends to use this energy sucking martial arts technique. Okay, on one dude. So like he grabs one dude or something, and then he makes it seem like he's sucking the energy, the chi from this dude, right? And this dude got super afraid that that's what he was doing, and then he fears for his life, and then he runs away. So this kind of martial arts, this energy sucking martial arts, it's infamous, and everyone is afraid of it because remember, these people, they spend their whole lives cultivating their chi energy, right? So they train very hard. Okay, train for years and years and decades to accumulate and train and cultivate this chi energy inside them. And for someone in a matter of a couple of minutes to be able to suck all of that energy and render all their training useless is a very scary thing in this martial arts world, right? So everyone is afraid of this infamous martial arts. So this guy, this Wen Tian guy, pretends to use that martial arts, but he actually doesn't. Okay, he doesn't know how to use it. Okay, he doesn't have that technique. His technique is something different that he developed. It's a trickery. It's a tricking technique. It's a technique to trick people into thinking that he has that energy sucking martial arts. All right. What he does is he actually diverts their energy into the ground, so it seems like it's being sucked out of their body. Okay, so that's why they think it's they're being sucked. But apparently, I guess if the energy goes into the ground, it comes back to them. So later they realize that they haven't actually lost their energy, but in the moment, it feels like you've lost your energy. So that's why everyone was so afraid of that. And then Ling Huchong and this Wenxiang guy, they become sworn brothers. Okay, boob brothers as we call them. So they swear to become brothers. Look, like Ling Huchong has a habit of befriending these like ruffians and people who live outside of the law. But yeah, so now he has another really powerful sworn brother. Yeah, that's basically it. That's basically what happened last time. My dad should start a channel called Linfamy's Dad and can show you how to make candy and trap possums. Yeah, he should. I'd watch that. I'd watch how to make candy. That might be very popular if he does it. Unfortunately, he has no technical or computer know-how. Dun, 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 dun. It's still stuck to my teeth. That's what happens. All that sesame. The audio is slow. Really? Am I delayed? Well, I don't know what to do. Because I don't have my VPN on. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe it'll get better in a bit. Oh, it's perfectly in sync for you? Okay, then it's Korea's fault. It's your fault, Korea. It's on your end. Alright. Let's do this. I'm a little sleepy. Hopefully I'll wake up. Alright. Wait. Chapter 19, Part 1. The Wager. So they're still in the fight, okay? They're still being pursued by like 100 people. By now, both of them were very exhausted, and each took a spot to sit in repose with their eyes closed, leaning against a big rock. Soon, Ling Huchong began to doze off. In the sleep, he suddenly saw Yingying placing 3 roasted frogs into his hands and asking him, "Have you forgotten me?" Oh, talking about roasted frogs. I bet roasted frog doesn't have crunchy skin, though. I have not. Where have you been? Ling Huchong replied loudly, but all of a sudden, Yingying's image vanished before his eyes. Don't go! I have a lot to tell you, he shouted hastily, but all he could see now were countless knives, swords, and various weapons striking toward him, one after another. He cried out loudly, and then woke up. Have you dreamed of your... Wait, how does his voice go again? Have you dreamed of your sweetheart and had a lot to tell her? Xiang Wenxiang said with a big grin. Ling Huchong's face went red. He wasn't sure what else he had said in his dream that Xiang Wenxiang might have also overheard. Brother, if you want to see your lover, you'll have to recuperate your injury and cure yourself before looking for her, Xiang Wenxiang suggested. I don't have a lover. Besides, my injury is incurable, Ling Huchong replied, his face looking gloomy. I owe you a life. Although you are my sworn brother, it still doesn't feel right, and I simply must repay you with a life. I'll take you to a place. There, you will be cured, Xiang Wenqian exclaimed. Ling Hucheng had long disregarded his own life, but that was really because he didn't have a choice after all and had to treat it with indifference. Now, when he heard Xiang Wenqian saying that his injury was actually curable, a mixed feeling of hope and bliss began swelling in his heart, or in his chest. If these words had come out of someone else's mouth, he would not have let his hope go up. But Xiang Wenqian was a man with extraordinary abilities, and his kung fu skills were so amazing that other than Grand Uncle Master Feng, Ling Hucheng had not seen anyone possessing such exceptional skills. Even a casual remark from him could have weighed more than 1,000 pounds. I don't know, guys. We have had a lot of people who have claimed to be able to cure him, and none have panned out yet. Ling Hucheng murmured, but found himself lost in word from the sudden surge of spirit. By now, the crescent-shaped moon had climbed up the opening of the valley and shone over it silently, casting rays of cold light into the bottom of the valley. Although the valley bottom still looked dark and gloomy, in Ling Hucheng's eyes everything seemed to have brightened up all of a sudden, as though it were sunshine. It was sunshine everywhere. We'll go see a man. But this man has very eccentric temperament, so it's better that we don't let him know beforehand. Brother, if you trust me, just let me arrange anything. Just let me arrange everything, Xiang Wenqian explained. What's there not to trust? Brother Xiang, you're trying to cure my injury. It's just like that old saying, working on curing a dead horse as though the horse was still alive. It was a hopeless thing to start with anyway. If it can be cured, then praise the Lord. If it can't be cured, then it is just the way it should have been. Xiang Wenqian licked his lips at these words. I wonder where we dropped that horse leg. God damn it, we killed so many bastards, and there's not even a single one down here. So if you remember, they are at the bottom of this cliff, right? So the bad guys, or the guys chasing after them, are like at the top. So they're at the bottom of this valley. But they had to walk down a cliff. Or jump down a cliff to get here. From the expression on Xiang Wenqian's face, Ling Hucheng could tell that he must be thinking about finding some corpses for food. Gasping with astonishment, he dared not say another word, and closed his eyes to sleep. The next morning, Xiang Wenqian said, Brother, other than moss and grass, there's nothing here. If we stay here and drag on like this, we've got to find some dead corpses for food. Ew. But the ones that fell down the valley yesterday were all old and stringy. I think you won't have too good of an appetite eating those. I won't have any appetite at all, Ling Hucheng replied hurriedly. Xiang Wenqian grinned. Then we'll have to find a way out of here. Let me change your looks a little bit. He scooped some slime from the ground and smeared it onto Ling Hucheng's face. Then he put his hands on his own chins and rubbed. As soon as his inner strength radiated out from his palms, his long beards began falling off completely. Next, he placed his hands on his own head and rubbed, and soon all the gray hair on his head also fell off entirely, turning his head into a shiny, bald head. Within moments, he had changed his appearance completely. Ling Hucheng found it amusing yet amazing. Xiang Wenqian scooped some more slime and then made his nose bigger, his chins chubbier. Now, even if someone looked at Xiang Wenqian carefully face to face, he would still have a difficult time recognizing him. What? How does he do that? He scooped some slime from the ground and made a disguise for his face? I think we need to like suspend our disbelief a little bit. Because there's no way some slime from the ground would make it so that If you look at him face to face, you would have a difficult time recognizing him. But you can't make your nose bigger. What? Xiang Wenxian leading the way, they began looking for a way out of the valley. Xiang Wenxian put his hands together, and hid them in his sleeves, which also covered up the iron chain tied around his wrists. Oh yeah, I forgot. He still had iron chains. As long as he didn't draw his hands out, nobody would have been able to recognize that this bald fatty was actually the hale, hearty, and degage Xiang Wenxian. The two of them explored the valley from one side to the other, and by noon they caught sight of a small wild peach tree in a small cole. Even though the peaches were far from ripe and tasted sour and astringent, they couldn't care less, and each had a stomach full. After resting for about 2 hours, they resumed their walk. By the time of dusk, Xiang Wenxian finally found the right place to get out of the valley, only that they had to climb over a precipice a few 100 feet high. Xiang Wenxian carried Ling Huchong on his back and then climbed upward. After they climbed up the cliff, a small path appeared in front of their eyes, winding down the long grasses covering the wild country land. Although the scenery was bleak, at least they had gotten out of the tight spot where even traces of wild birds or animals were lacking, and both heaved a long sigh of relief. The next morning, they traveled east. When they finally arrived at a good-sized town, Xiang Wenxian took out a piece of golden leaf from his chest pocket and asked Ling Huchong to exchange that into silver at a local money market. Ah, crap. So many questions about definitions in the chat. The precipice means like the edge of the cliff. Edge of a cliff. Degage? Oh god, what does degage mean? Is that even a word? I think that's a fake word. The hale, hearty, and degage. 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 It means loud. Yeah. It means loud. No, it can't mean loud. It means that's the only thing I can think of. Loud. Oh god, that's wrong, isn't it? Oh, unconcerned, unconstrained, relaxed. Oh no. I've lost that one. That's one karaoke song. Oh, you want me to check precipice? I know precipice means like the edge of a cliff. Yeah. And coal. What the fuck? What the hell is a coal? Why do they use like such like obscure words? A wild peach tree and a small coal. Where would a wild peach tree reside? I think a clearing. How about a clearing? Like a clearing in the woods? A coal. All right, let's do it. I feel good about it. What about you guys? I feel good about this. Ah, fuck. It's the lowest point of a ridge or a saddle between two peaks. So like a little valley. God damn it. That was a good guess though. That's 2. You've caught me on 2 songs. Ah, shit. Yeah, they're using like random 200-year-old English words. Like they just looked through the thesaurus and looked for the hardest word, just to screw me over. All right, back to reading. I've already forgotten what a coal is. When that was all taken care of, they put up at an inn. Xiang Wenxian ordered a lavish feast and also asked the servant to bring out a big jar of wine. The two of them both drank to their hearts' content, while over a half jar of the wine had gone. Then, without paying any attention to the food on the table, one simply fell asleep at the table, while the other one fell into a fuddle and passed out in bed. Not until the next morning, when the warm sunshine had covered the full window, did they wake up one after another. They exchanged a few grins as they recollected the fierce fight inside the pavilion and on the stone beam, also feeling as though those events had only happened in their last incarnation. "Brother, you wait here. I'll be right back," Xiang Wenxian said. But Xiang Wenxian did not return until over 2 hours later. Ling Huchong was just starting to worry, fearing that he might have encountered enemies, when Xiang Wenxian reappeared with many packages in various sizes in his hands and under his arms. The iron chain that had shackled around his waists also disappeared. He must have asked a blacksmith to chisel it off. Xiang Wenxian opened the packages. It turned out that each and every one of them had contained luxurious garments and apparels. Oh, D-gauge, the opposite of N-gauge. What the hell does D-gauge mean again? I forgot. No, that's not the opposite of N-gauge. Oh shit, what is a fuddle? Oh no. I'm failing at this. One fell into a fuddle and passed out in bed. Is that like a puddle? One simply fell asleep at the table while the other one fell into a fuddle. I think like fell into a like a drunk state of mind, since he drank a lot of wine. Like a confused, like like a drunk, confused state of mind, sleepy. Yeah. Come on, Fuddle. Come on. Yeah. I think I'm giving myself the W for that. Oh, here it's a noun, a state of confusion or intoxication. Oh, pff. Damn, I am a genius. We'll disguise into rich merchants. The more extravagant, the better, Xiang Wenxian exclaimed. I think he just stole those. He just stole those luxurious garments. The two of them changed into the brand new clothes from inside out completely. When they walked outside, the inn servant led 2 tall horses in bright saddles and bridles to them, which apparently Xiang Wenxian had also just purchased. They traveled slowly further east on horsebacks. After 2 days into the journey, Ling Huchong had already felt worn out, so Xiang Wenxian hired a horse-drawn wagon for him to ride in. After arriving by the Grand Canal, they simply gave up the idea of traveling by horse and hired a boat, traveling south by water instead. Along the journey, Xiang Wenxian kept the spending spree, as though he had an infinite number of golden leaves with him, After they crossed the Yangtze River, more and more markets and shops bustled along both banks of the canal. The apparels Xiang Wenxian purchased also turned more and more extravagant. During the long days spent on the boat, Xiang Wenxian told many anecdotes and tales of the martial world, most of which were stories Ling Hucheng had never heard of before and brought great gusto out of him. But if there was anything relating to the Dark Wood Cliff, or concerning matters of the demon cult, Xiang Wenxian would not mention any word of it, and Ling Hucheng would not ask any question either. This day they arrived outside the city of Hangzhou. With extra attention, Xiang Wenxian worked on the disguises of Ling Hucheng and himself one more time before getting off the boat, and then after acquiring 2 fine horses, they rode into the city of Hangzhou. The city of Hangzhou, which used to have the name of Lin'an, was the capital city during the Southern Song dynasty and had always been a great place for residence. As soon as they entered the city, they were greeted by boisterous pedestrians crowding the streets, shoulder to shoulder, while faint music and songs from alleys and courtyards echoing faintly in the background. Ling Hucheng followed Xiang Wenxian until they had arrived at the bank of the West Lake. And what greeted his eyes were a beautiful slate of blue water, reflecting the blue sky like a huge mirror, and the many weeping willows stroking the lake surface with their long, soft branches. The magnificent beauty of the scenery could have easily made one wonder if he had just stepped in a fairyland. Nah, he's not wasting money. The guy is just stealing from people. I'm sure of it. I've heard many people say Suzhou and Hangzhou are heavens on earth. I've never been to Suzhou, but I have no idea about it. Today, after seeing the West Lake with my own eyes, I have to agree that using heaven on earth to describe its beauty is certainly no exaggeration, Ling Hucheng exclaimed. Xiang Wenxian showed a smile as his reply, and then led Ling Hucheng to a remote corner, which, with a small hill on one side and a long causeway separating it from the outer lake on the other, seemed even more secluded and peaceful. The 2 of them dismounted their horses, and then after tying the reins to the willow trees by the bank, they ascended the flight of stone steps leading up the small hill. It seemed as though Xiang Wenxian had returned to a formerly visited place and was very familiar with the pathways. After several turns, suddenly there were plum trees everywhere, aged boughs slanted to the side, with dense branches and leaves on the top, making one wonder what a splendid view it would be in the early spring when they were all covered in the countless of beautiful snow-white plum blossoms. Wait, you actually want me to define grasses? Grasses? Like grass. What do you mean? It's those green plants on the ground. Grass. They walked through the large stretch of plum forest and then followed the main stone slab path. Soon a large manor with a red gate and white walls came into their view. Once they came closer, Ling Hucheng could see 2 large characters, Plum Manor, written outside of the gate, and by the side, the words signed by Yu Yun Wen were inscribed in smaller fonts. Even though Ling Hucheng did not have much education and didn't know what Yu Yun Wen was, the famous Southern Song general, didn't know that Yu Yun Wen was the famous Southern Song general that had defeated Jin's invading army, he could still sense the vigorous, heroic spirit behind the elegant and graceful handwriting. Xiang Wenxian stepped forward and grabbed onto the shiny copper ring hanging from the gate. "Leave everything to me." He turned his head over his shoulder and whispered. Ling Hucheng nodded, thinking to himself, "This Plum Manor obviously is the residence of a very rich family in the city of Hangzhou. Could this have been the home of an exceptional doctor? Then he heard Xiang Wenzian knocking on the gate using the copper ring. He knocked 4 times at first, and then paused for a moment before knocking twice again. And then after another short pause, he knocked 5 times. Then another pause before 3 more knocks. Letting go of the copper ring, Xiang Wenzian took a step back and waited. Ah, it's the knocking pattern. After a while, the gate opened slowly, and 2 old men in servants' clothes walked out abreast. Ling Huchang felt a slight shock at the sight of the 2 old men, their eyes shining with sharp stares, and their steps steady and firm. Apparently, both of them had excellent kung fu. Why would they allow themselves to be employed to such lowly posts as servants? Ling Huchang couldn't help but ask himself inwardly. May I ask what business has brought you to our humble manor? The man on the left asked with a slight bow. Members of the Songshan School and the Huashan School would like to request an audience with the 4 playfellows of Jiannan, the 4 respectful masters, Xiang Wenxian said. The masters of the manor do not wish to receive any guests, the man replied, and then made for closing the gate. But Xiang Wenzian took something out of his chest pocket and then opened it up. Ling Huchang felt another shock. Inside Xiang Wenzian's hand was a brocade flag in 5 colors stubbed with shining pearls and precious gemstones. And in the bright sunlight, they twinkled magnificently. The hell's a brocade flag? It's a brocade. I think flag is just the typo. It's a brocade in 5 colors with shining pearls and precious gemstones. Ling Huchang knew that this flag. Oh. Oh, it's actually a little flag, apparently. Oh, the command flag. I thought the command flag was like gigantic. But apparently it's very small. Okay, whatever. Ling Huchang knew that this flag was the 5 Mountains Sword Alliance command flag of the Songshan schools' chief jewel. And wherever the flags showed up, it was as if Chief Jewel had also come himself, and all members of the 5 Mountains Sword Alliance would hold the carrier of the command flag to the highest esteem and follow his command strictly. Ling Huchang faintly felt that this was inappropriate. He was almost sure that Xiang Wenzian must have not obtained the flag through proper means. Maybe he had killed some important members of the Songshan school and then had robbed the flag of him. And maybe the flag was the very reason why Orthodox school members chased after him. Now he claimed to be a member of the Songshan school. What kind of scheme was he planning to pull? But since Ling Huchang had agreed to let him arrange everything, he had no choice but to maintain his silence and observe by the side. At the sight of the command flag, the 2 servants' countenance changed slightly. The command flag of the Songshan School's chief jewel? They muttered together. Yes, it is, Xiang Wenzian confirmed. The 4 playfellows of Jiannan and the 5 Mountain Sword Alliance never had the chance to make the acquaintance. Even if Songshan School's chief jewel had come himself, our masters wouldn't necessarily... Well, the servant on the right replied. He didn't finish his sentence, but everyone knew what he meant. Even if Chief Jewel had come himself, our masters wouldn't necessarily grant an audience just the same. Chief Jewel of the Songshan School was, after all, a man of high post and high prestige, and the man did not want to say anything contemptuous, but he apparently considered the status of the 4 playfellows of Jiannan to be much higher compared to that of Chief Jewel. Remember, Chief Jewel is the leader of the Songshan School and also the leader of the whole alliance of the 5 schools. Define brocade. We all know that brocade is a pattern. Okay. Aha! Ha ha ha. Thank you, Hope. You saved my life. Who are these 4 playfellows of Jianan? Suppose they really have such prestigious status in the martial world, why have I never heard master or master wife mention their names? And when I wondered about the martial world, I've heard people talking about many exceptional senior masters. How come I've never heard the name 4 playfellows of Jianan mentioned before? Ling Huchang couldn't help but ponder. This command flag of my nephew apprentice Zhuo was only good for bluffing. The 4 senior masters of Jianan are all prestigious masters. Of course, they would think nothing of this small flag. Xiang Wenxian showed a slight grin, and put the command flag back into his chest pocket. Ling Hucheng thought to himself, nephew apprentice Zhuo? Are you actually pretending to be Chief Zhuo's uncle master? This is really getting out of hand. I've never had the privilege of paying a formal visit to the 4 respectful masters of Jianan. I just thought that this command flag might be used as a token of verification. Xiang Wenxian continued. Oh, the 2 servants acknowledged. Hearing how Xiang Wenxian had really elevated the position of the 4 playfellows of Jianan in his speech, both eased up in the face. Are you Chief Zhuo's uncle master? One man asked. Yes, I am. Xiang Wenxian let out another grin. I am only a nobody in the martial world. Naturally, you would never have heard about me. But I've long heard about the great feats you have accomplished. Brother Ding, that year at the foot of Mount Qi Lian, didn't you single-handedly wipe out the entire band of 4 tyrants and subdued 2 prestigious kung fu masters with a single swing of your sword? And Brother Shi, didn't your 8-diagram golden saber drink the blood of the Green Dragon clans' all 13 ringleaders on the Han River in Hubei province just so that you could save the life of an orphan? Such feats are definitely hard to forget. The 2 men in servants' clothes were named Ding Jian and Xu Lingwei, respectively. Before retiring to the Plum Manor, they had been 2 ruthless figures in the martial world, chivalrous sometimes and wicked some other times. They had one thing in common. Seldom had they revealed their names in the many battles they had fought. Consequently, despite their extraordinary martial arts skills, few had heard of their names. The 2 incidents Xiang Wenxian just brought up were none other than what they had considered the true masterpiece in their lives. In both cases, their opponents had been elite kung fu masters, and they had to fight many enemies alone. Nevertheless, each of them claimed a neat victory. Besides, they had been the chivalrous heroes upholding justice, while their opponents were the villains in both incidents, which had been very rare occurrences throughout their lives. Generally, when someone performs a good deed, even though he wouldn't go out of his way to publicize it, he would still feel utterly pleased if others learn about it accidentally. Both Ding and Shi's faces lit up at Xiang Wenxian's words. This guy not only is a good fighter, he's good with his words too. Yes, I am Vietnamese. I am surely Vietnamese. Or mostly Vietnamese. I'm also partially Chinese. Yeah. The martial world certainly does not lack people who fish for fame and compliment, but lofty gentlemen with genuine abilities and learning that would rather remain anonymous after doing great deeds, are very hard to come by, Xiang Wenxian continued. I've always admired the great fame of straight line lightning sword, Brother Ding, and Wulu God, Brother Shi. When nephew apprentice Zhuo mentioned about, he's still pretending he's like this uncle master of the chief Zhuo. Mentioned about consulting the 4 playfellows of Jiannan in regard to certain matters, I agreed to make the trip to Hangzhou. I figured that even if I might not have the luck to meet the 4 playfellows of Jiannan, as long as I get to meet the straight line lightning sword and the Wulu God, it would have been a worthy trip. Nephew apprentice Zhuo said that if he had come himself, he was afraid that the 4 senior masters might not want to receive him, having an aversion to the undeserved reputation he had attained in recent years. But in my case, since I usually stayed in and kept myself away from martial world matters, maybe I won't look too repugnant in their eyes. Very pleased to hear Xiang Wentan flattering both the 4 playfellows of Jiannan, and the 2 of them, Ding and Shi, also accompanied him with a few laughs. Although the bald fatty looked repulsive in appearance, his speech and demeanor showed great manner and elegance, which convinced Ding and Shi that he was not just any ordinary visitor. And since he was Zhuo Lengqian's uncle master, his kung fu skills had to be extraordinary. Ding and Shi felt their respect growing. Oh, good night, City Cat. Do I plan to do some more Japanese ghost story readings? Maybe. If you guys can find me some good ghost stories that are not copyrighted. By then, Shi Lingwei had decided to report them to the masters of the manor. Turning toward Ling Huchong, he asked, "Is this Mr. a member of the Huashan school?" "This is Brother Feng. He is uncle master of the current Huashan school headmaster, Yue Buchun." Xiang Wentan replied swiftly before Ling Huchong had any chance to open his mouth. He just made Ling Huchong the uncle master of his own master. From the much nonsense Xiang Wenxian had made up, Ling Huchong had guessed that Xiang would vamp up a fake name and identity for him, but he had no idea that Xiang would make him the uncle master of his own master. Even though Ling Huchong was a man that did not care a rush, pretending to be a senior of his respectful master made him very uneasy. He couldn't help but shudder. Luckily, his face was covered under a thick layer of yellow powder, which effectively concealed his startled face. Ling Jian and Xu Lingwei exchanged a suspicious stare, both thinking, although we can't tell this man's true age, he is most likely under 40. How could he be Yue Buchun's uncle master? Xiang Wenxian had made Ling Huchong look much older with the help of the disguise. However, Ling Huchong still looked far from an aged man, and any excessive makeup would have given him away completely. This Brother Feng here is actually younger than Yue Buchun, but he is the only disciple of apprentice brother Feng Qingyang, and the only heir of the apprentice brother Feng's unique sword arts. His skills in sword art are so exceptional that few in the Huashan sword school could be his match, Xiang Wenxian explained. Once again, Ling Huchong found himself astonished. How would Brother Xian know that I am the disciple of Grand Uncle Master Feng? He pondered and found the answer only a moment later. With his exceptional sword art skills, Grand Uncle Master Feng must have had a prestigious fame in the martial world many years ago. Brother Xian is a very, very knowledgeable man. Once he saw the sword arts I used, naturally he was able to deduce the origin of the sword arts. If Great Master Feng Sheng can recognize it, so can Brother Xian. Ding Jian uttered a cry of surprise. He was an expert in swordsmanship, and upon learning that Ling Huchong was an excellent sword master, He itched for a contest. But the man standing in front of him had such a yellowish, swollen face and a completely wretched look. He had a hard time linking the man to an outstanding master in sword arts. May I have the honor to hear your names? He asked. My surname is Tong, and my full name is Tong Huajin. This brother Feng's first name is Zhong, Xiang Wenqian answered. We've been looking forward to meeting you for a long time. Both Ding and Xu cupped their hands in greetings. Xiang Wenqian couldn't help but chuckle inwardly. The name he made up, Tong Huajin, meant copper turning into gold, which of course clearly stated that it was fake. And the name Zhong simply came from separating the two radicals in the character Chong. There was no one in the martial world with any of those two names, yet the two of them still looked forward to meeting them. Why would they be looking forward to it, much less looking forward to it for a long time already? Please come in and have some tea while I report to my masters, but whether our masters will see you or not, I won't promise anything, Ding Jian said. Even though you humbly call yourselves servants of the manor, you are more like intimate brothers to the 4 playfellows of Jiannan. I am sure the 4 senior masters will not go against your suggestions, Xiang Wenqian said with a grin. Ding Jian returned with a grin, shifting to the side to make way, and Xiang Wenqian stepped into the manor, followed closely by Ling Hu Chong. Let's take a 5-minute break, you guys. Oh no, Losh sent me a song. Let me find it. All right, I'll be right back. Okay. Backity back. All right. All right. I have okay, so let me eat the other snack that my dad made. So this one is similar to the last one. Yeah, so it's white sesame with peanuts and stuck together with honey and sugar. Yeah, this one's good too. This is called Tao Lao. It doesn't have a funny meaning like the other one. It's not like pig shit or anything. Yeah, I don't know what it's called in English, but yeah. Good stuff. This one also sticks to your teeth, but at least it's not black, so it doesn't look like you have like rotten teeth. That's good. That song, I don't know what that song is from. Ask Losh from the chat sent it to me. This one sticks to your teeth for a long time. All right, back. Hey, Yash. What's up, Yash? Welcome. All right, so they're walking into the manor of these 4 playfellows. I wonder what they are. I don't wonder what they do. They probably play instruments. They walked through a big courtyard following the path, alongside which stood two aged plum trees, one on each side, their limbs extending vigorously in all directions. After entering the reception hall, Shi Lingwei invited the guests to be seated and stood by the side in company while Ding Jian went inside to report to the masters. Seeing that Shi Lingwei stood by the side, Xiang Wenjian felt rather irreverent to remain sitting by himself. But Shi was a servant of the Plum Manor, and it would have been inappropriate for him to invite Shi to sit down. And then he had an idea. Brother Feng, Xiang Wentan said to Ling Huchong, look at that painting there. Although it's made up of only a few simple strokes, it certainly depicts great momentum. At these words, he stood up and walked in front of the central scroll hung in the middle of the hall. How much is my dad's candy? Oh. Oh, you think he should start a business? Maybe, because they're really good. They're really good, actually. Maybe he should make it and then I should sell it and then keep the money. I'll give him minimum wage, you know, whatever. But yeah. Would be a good business. Where am I? Having traveled alongside Xiang Wenxian for many days, Ling Huchong knew very well that Xian was not adept at painting and calligraphy, despite his resourceful wits. Now, when he suddenly began praising the painting, there had to be something more to it. At that thought, he acknowledged with a snort and also walked in front of the painting. The painting contained the drawing of a celestial man's back. It almost felt as though the ink on the painting was still dripping wet, clearly showing the powerful vigor of each of the strokes. Even though Ling Huchong was no expert in the art of painting, he still could tell that this had to be a true masterpiece. The autograph on the painting read, Mr. Paint splashing paints in a big fuddle. These words were written in a very stern style, as though each brush stroke came from a prod or a swing of a long sword. Brother Tong, I am very attracted to this word fuddle on the painting. It almost felt as though the painting and the writing contained some kind of very brilliant sword arts. After staring at the painting for some time, Ling Huchong commented, the brushstrokes in the writing and the gesture of the celestial man seemed to have reminded him of the sword arts carved on the rock wall in the back cave atop the cliff of contemplation. Before Xiang Wenjian had a chance to reply, Shi Lingwei had already spoken out. Mr. Feng is truly an expert in sword arts. Our fourth master said he painted this painting after he became completely inebriated one day and unconsciously included the spirit of sword arts in the artwork. This is the best artwork he had ever created. Once he became sober, he could never paint anything like this again. Mr. Feng can actually make out the spirit of sword arts in the painting. Fourth Master will definitely think of you as a bosom friend. Please allow me to excuse myself so I can report this to him. Beaming with joy, he went inside. Brother Feng, turned out you know the art of painting. Xiang Wenxian cleared his throat and said, I don't know anything about painting. I was just making wild guesses and happened to hit the target by accident. If this Mr. Paint wants to discuss the art of painting with me, I'll end up making a fool out of myself, Ling Huchong replied. Suddenly, a loud voice rose from outside the door. Did he really? Wait. Oh, this is Mr. Paint talking. Suddenly, a loud voice rose from outside the door. Did he really recognize the spirit of sword arts in my painting?
He must be a very insightful man, he must be.
Amid the clamor, a man entered the room, holding a wine cup in his left hand, his face tipsy and his long beard almost reaching all the way to his bosom. Xu Lingwei followed right behind the man. In a hurry, he introduced, "These two guests are Mr. Tong from the Songshan School and Mr. Feng from the Huashan School. This is the fourth master of the Plum Manor, Mr. Paint." Fourth master... Their names, man. "Fourth master, as soon as this Mr. Feng saw your splash ink painting, he said that the painting contained brilliant sword arts." The fourth master, Mr. Paint, glanced at Ling Hucheng up and down from the corner of his tipsy eyes. "You know painting? You know sword arts?" he suddenly asked. The two questions sounded very insolent and impolite. Ling Hucheng noticed that the wine cup in his hand was a jade green emerald cup. He could also tell from the smell that the wine inside the cup was pure pear blossom wine. Suddenly, Zhu Qianqiu's speech on the boat when they traveled in the Yellow River came to his mind. Bai Ju Yi wrote in his poem Spring View of Hangzhou, the red sleeves of silk weaving girls reflected the persimmon leaves, and the emerald green flag of the wine shop sets off the pear blossom wine. To drink the pear blossom wine, emerald cup would be the natural choice. Fourth master is truly an expert in the art of wine drinking. A lot of bullshitting here. Ling Hucheng did not have much education and knew little about poetry and literature, but being a very intelligent man, he was gifted with an extraordinarily retentive memory and could recite other people's words after hearing them over once. So easily he copied Zhu Qianqiu's exact words over. Mr. Paint's eyes became wide open at these words. Suddenly he held Ling Hucheng into his arms. "Good heavens!" he cried out loud. "A bosom friend has arrived! Come, follow me! Let's go drink at least 300 cups! Brother Feng, I am addicted to the art of wine, the art of painting, and the art of the sword. People call me Lord of the Three Arts, but among the three arts, the art of wine is at the top of the list. Art of painting is the second, and art of sword is the last." These words sounded like music in Ling Hucheng's ears. "I know nothing about the art of painting," he thought to himself. "I've come to seek help in healing my injuries. It's the last thing I want to do to get into a sword fight with them. But drinking, that's just down my alley." Wait, isn't that... That's wrong. It should be up my alley. But drinking, that's just up my alley. What more could I have asked for? Without hesitation, he followed Mr. Paint inside, followed by Xian Wentian and Shi Lingwei. Down a winding corridor, they came to a room to the west, and as soon as the portiere was lifted, a strong fragrance of wine assailed their nostrils. Ling Hucheng had been fond of drinking since childhood. Only because his master and master wife hadn't given him much pocket money, he had not the luxury to distinguish the good from the bad, and simply drank whatever he could get. Not until he listened to Elder Bamboo Green discussing the art of drinking in detail in the city of Luoyang and was shown the many kinds of great wines, he was able to appreciate quality wines and the art of drinking. Firstly, this was congenial for him. Secondly, he had a good teacher to give him directions, so as soon as the scent of wine hit his nostrils, he praised. "Wow, I smell the scent of aged, high-grade fun wine. The 100 grass wine probably is around 75 years old, and that monkey wine is even harder to come by." As soon as he recognized the aroma of the monkey wine, he instantly remembered Lu Dayo, his sixth apprentice brother, and sorrow swelled in his heart. "Excellent! Excellent! Brother Feng, as soon as you stepped into my wine room, you have already recognized the best 3 brews in my collection. You are really an expert. Amazing! Amazing indeed!" Mr. Paint clapped his hands with a big smile blossoming on his face. Okay, well, it looks like he just made a friend. Good start, Ling Hucheng. Ling Hucheng glanced around the room. What met his eyes were wine jars, wine bottles, wine calabashes, and wine cups everywhere. I really doubt Senior Masters' collection stops at the 3 great brews I've just mentioned. The Shaoxing red wine is definitely first class, and the grape wine from the western region of the city Turfan, which requires 4 cycles of distillation and ferments, is second to none in the entire world. You guys like monkey wine? I hope that monkey wine is not what I think it is. That's nasty. I don't know. Maybe not. Like, don't knock it till you try it, right? My Turfan 4 cycles of distillation and ferments, grape wine, is still sealed off in the wooden barrel. How could you have sniffed it out? Mr. Paint uttered, half shocked and half pleased. Come on, with such quality wine, even if you hide it in a cellar 20 feet below ground, the sweet scent would still make it all the way here, Ling Hu Chong said with a grin. Right on, let's drink this 4 cycles distillation and ferments grape wine then, Mr. Paint shouted. Soon he took out a big barrel from a corner of the room. The barrel had begun to turn black from its old age and was covered with wriggling Western region scripts. The wooden stopper was sealed off by sealing wax, which carried the sign of a solemn-looking stamp. Mr. Paint held the wooden stopper and gave it a gentle pull. All of a sudden, the room was filled with the scent of great wine. Shi Lingwei was a man who never touched alcohol, and at the strong smell from the wine, he immediately felt tipsy. Mr. Paint waved him off with a grin. Go out. You don't want to get drunk, do you? Placing 3 wine cups in a row, he picked up the barrel and poured the wine towards the wine cups. The wine's color was dark red and almost looked like blood. When the cups were full, the top of the liquid was actually slightly higher than the edge of the cup, yet not a drop spilled out. This man has extraordinary kung fu skills, Ling Hu Chong couldn't help but cheer inwardly. Holding the over 100 pounds big barrel in his arms and pouring wine into the small wine cups, he was still able to fill the cups perfectly to their capacities. That is no easy task. Cheers! Cheers! Holding the wooden barrel under his right arm, he raised his wine cup with his left hand and stared at Ling Hu Chong's face with unblinking eyes, waiting to see his reaction after he tasted the wine. Ling Hu Chong raised his own cup and then drank half of its contents down his throat, smacking his lips as he tasted the flavor, his eyes closed. But because of the thick layer of powder on his face, the only expression on his face was indifference, as though he didn't quite like the taste. Mr. Paints' face, on the other hand, had anxiety written all over it, as if he was afraid that this expert in wine appreciation would only rate his wine mediocre. After a long while, Ling Hu Chong finally opened his eyes. Very strange indeed, he muttered. What's strange about it? Mr. Paint asked. Well, this is so confusing. This is really beyond me, Ling Hu Chong answered. You are saying, Mr. Paint said, his eyes flickering with joy. I've only had the fortune to taste this wine once before, and that was in the city of Luoyang. Even though the wine was utterly mellow and pure, one could still feel the slight sourness in its flavor. According to a grand master in the art of wine, that was because of the bumping and jolting along the transportation route. With the 4 cycles of distillation and ferments, Turfan grape wine, the more you move it, the more of the excellence will be impaired. There are many thousands of miles between Turfan and Hangzhou, but Senior Masters' wine doesn't even have the slightest sourness in its flavor. Well, Mr. Paint broke into a loud laughter, looking very pleased of himself. This is my utmost secret. I had to use 3 sword moves in exchange for the secret recipe from Moore Watson, the Western region swordsman. Do you want to hear it? I'm already perfectly satisfied for the chance to enjoy such wonderful wine. I certainly dare not to ask about Senior Masters' secret recipe. Ling Hu Chong shook his head. So this guy traded 3 of his own sword moves to know in exchange for that secret recipe of the wine. So he's very into the wine stuff.
Let's drink. Let's drink.
Mr. Paint filled the 3 wine cups once again. Ling Huchong's no. Wait, what? Oh, that's bad grammar. Ling Huchong's no desire for the secret recipe actually made his heart itch more. He couldn't help but mutter, "Actually, the recipe is not worth a dime. It's amazingly simple, you know?" Ling Huchong knew that the less he desired to hear the secret, the more Mr. Paint would want to share it, so he shook his hands hurriedly. "Senior Master, please don't speak the secret out. I can imagine that the 3 sword moves you gave out must have been no small matter. If I take away your secret recipe, which you had to pay a great price in exchange so easily, I'll never feel right about it. It is well said that there's no receiving a reward without making a merit."
Didn't you drink with me? Didn't you recognize the origin of the wine? That's plenty of merit already. You must listen to the secret recipe, Mr. Paint insisted. "I feel great gratitude that Senior Master is willing to grant me an audience and bestow on me your most valuable wine collection. How could I? But I want to tell you. You can listen." "This is 4th Master's goodwill. Brother Feng, you need not decline," Xiang Wenxian also chimed in. Exactly, Mr. Paint concurred. "Let me ask you, can you tell how old the wine is?" he asked with all smiles.
Ling Huchong drank up his wine and tasted it carefully. After a long while, he spoke again.
"There is another thing strange about this wine. It tastes like it's 120 years old, yet it also tastes as though it is only 12 or 13 years old. There's old flavor in the recent taste, and there's also new flavor in the old taste. Comparing to normal over 100-year-old wine, it seems to have a unique essence."
Xian Wenxian knitted his brows slightly as he thought to himself,
"Now he has really made a fool of himself. There's over 100 years difference between 120 years and 12 or 13 years. How could they be mentioned in the same breath?"
He was afraid that Mr. Paints would be displeased to hear these words, but quite to the contrary, the old fellow, Mr. Paint, broke into loud laughter, his long beard fluttering back and forth.
"Good brother, you are as sharp as a razor. That's exactly where the secret lies. Let me tell you, that Western region swordsman, Moore Watson, gave me 10 barrels of 120-year-old Turfan grape wine that had gone through 3 cycles of distillation and ferments and had 5 fine horses carry them all the way to Hangzhou. And then I went through the 4th cycle of distillation and ferments and brewed 1 barrel of fine wine using the 10 barrels grape wine. If we count the days, that was exactly 12.5 years ago. That's why the grape wine didn't go sour after such a long journey, and why there's old flavor in this recent taste and new flavor in the old taste."
That's why Xiang Wenxian and Ling Huchong both put their hands together.
"Even if you were to use 10 swords moves in exchange for the secret of making such wonderful wine, it would have been worth it, and you only had to use 3 moves. What a steal," Ling Huchong added.
Mr. Paint was even more pleased.
"Little brother, you really understand me well. At that time, both big brother and third brother grumbled about it and complained that by exchanging sword moves for wine brewing technique, I had let the secret of our central region's unique skills into the western region. And even though second brother only smiled without saying anything, I bet he didn't approve in his mind either. Only you, little brother, understand that I've made a kill in this deal. Let's have a toast for that."
Seeing that Xiang Wentan obviously didn't know anything about the art of drinking, he paid no more attention to him.
"4th Master, there's actually another way to enjoy this wine. Too bad we won't be able to at this moment," Ling Huchong said after drinking up another cup of wine. "How? Why can't we?" Mr. Paint asked anxiously.
Define calabash? It's like I think it's one of those skin containers to drink stuff in, like a little wine skin container. Either that or Either that or a bottle to hold wine. Oh no! Oh yeah, I knew this too. I used to know this. Yeah, it's a gourd. It's a gourd. It's a gourd. Oh, so it's that have you seen those? Like with that shape? Ah, let me look it up. Yeah. It's this thing. So apparently, you can if you dry out this gourd, it turns into a container. So if you dry out this gourd, it turns into something that you can put water or other liquids in. I don't know how they do it, but apparently you can. Yeah, bottle gourd. Do I get credit for that? I did say container, but not a skin container. Technically, it's a skin of a gourd. So a skin container is actually correct. You know what I mean? It's the skin of a gourd. I think that deserves some credit. Yeah. Well, let me know if you're gonna give me the if you agree with me, or do I have to sing another song? I did say container. I did. No, I don't get the credit. Alright, fine. What? Really? That is unfair. You guys are unfair. I did say container. Alright, whatever. Fine. That's 3 songs. Oh my god. We're gonna be here forever. Where are we? Turfan is the hottest place in the world. I heard that when great master Xuanzang journeyed to India to retrieve the true Buddhist scriptures, he went by the Mountain of Blaze, which is exactly where the Turfan is located, Ling Huchang explained. Yes, that place is very hot indeed. In the summertime, even after you immerse yourself in a bucket of cold water, you still feel the unbearable heat. And in the wintertime, it'll freeze you to the bone. But just because of that, the grapes they produce there are out of the ordinary, Mr. Paint remarked. When I tasted this wine in the city of Luoyang, it was still very cold. That grand master in the art of drinking brought out a big piece of ice and then set the wine cups on top of the ice. Once the wine was iced, it had a different kind of taste. It is already in the early summer now. That's why I said we wouldn't be able to taste it that way, Ling Huchong said. When I was in the western region, unfortunately it was in the summertime also. Moore Watson also mentioned about the wonderful taste of iced grape wine. Little brother, that's easy. All you have to do is stay in our plum manor for another half a year. Then when it is in the winter, we can taste the wine together, Mr. Paint suggested. After a short pause, he went on, his eyebrows slightly knitted. But we'll have to wait for such a long time. What a torment. It's a pity that there's no one here in Jiannan who specializes in icy palm or cold wind claw, the kind of kung fu that focuses on the negative principles. Or else, Xiang Wenzhan joined in. I've got it! Before Xiang Wenzhan even finished his sentence, Mr. Paint had shouted out cheerfully. Setting the wine barrel down to the floor, he walked out of the room excitedly. Ling Huchong cast a glance at Xiang Wenzhan with a stomach full of questions, but Xiang Wenzhan only grinned back in silence. Is the whole chapter going to be about wine? It's not about wine. It's about them tricking this guy. It seems. Not long after, Mr. Paint had returned, dragging a very tall and very thin old man in black robe behind him.
Second brother, you've got to do me a favor this time, no matter what, he pleaded.
Ling Wuchang looked at the man. What he saw was a man with delicate features, only that his face looked unnaturally white, as though the face of a corpse, which would send a chill down one's spine at the sight of it. After Mr. Paint introduced him, Ling Wuchang learned that the old man was the second master of the Plum Manor, Mr. Blackwhite. His hair looked extremely black, while his skin looked extremely white. They were certainly in sharp contrast. What favor? Mr. Blackwhite asked in a cold tone. No. What favor? I think that's let's give him that voice. What favor? Or what favor? Mr. Blackwhite asked in a cold tone.
To demonstrate your turning water into ice kung fu to these two good friends of mine,
Mr. Paint said. That's just an insignificant skill, not even worth mentioning. It would only make the true experts laugh, Mr. Blackwhite said coldly, rolling his black eyeballs around the white of the eye as he spoke.
Second brother, to tell you the truth, this brother Fang here said that if we iced the Turfan grape wine, it would have an interesting taste. But where the heck can I find ice in the middle of the summer? Mr. Paint confessed.
The wine is already very mellow and savory. There's no need to ice it, Mr. Blackwhite replied.
Turfan is a place of sweltering heat,
Ling Wuchang explained.
Totally, very hot,
Mr. Paint added. Although the grapes produced there are excellent, inevitably they also carried some of the summer heat, Ling Wuchang went on.
Totally, that's of course,
Mr. Paint added again. The summer heat was then brewed into the wine, though after 100 years the effect had reduced dramatically. The little bit of bitter is simply inevitable after all, Ling Wuchang concluded.
Totally. If you had not mentioned it, I would have thought that it was because the flame was too high at the time of the distillation. I really blamed that royal cook wrongly, Mr. Paint said.
What royal cook? Ling Wuchang asked.
Well, I was afraid to spoil the 10 barrels of great wine with incorrect degree of heating at the time of the distillation, so I made a special trip to the Imperial Palace in Beijing and grabbed the royal cook to come back with me so he could make the fire and brew the wine for me, Mr. Paint grinned.
Making a mountain out of a molehill? Mr. Blackwhite shook his head. I see, Xiang Wuncan cut in the conversation. If it were for just ordinary ones, it wouldn't matter much for them to have the bitterness in their drink, but second master and fourth master are lofty hermits that retreated to the lakeside of the scenic West Lake, completely different from the rough fellows in the martial world. Once the wine is iced and rid of the roughness, then it would match perfectly with the status of the two lofty masters.
It is just like the gamesmanship in the game of Go. Combating with sheer strength would only fall into the 9th grade of gamesmanship, while the masters in the 1st or 2nd grade of gamesmanship would seek a contest of spirit and understanding.
I've lost the ability to do his low voice.
You know the game of Go?
Rolling his queer eyes once again, Mr. Blackwhite suddenly grabbed at Xiang Wuncan's shoulder and asked eagerly, Ah, Mr. Blackwhite likes Go. Get it? The black and white pieces?
The game of Go is the favorite in my life. Unfortunately, my skills are just ordinary, so I traveled all over the country in pursuit of Go manuals. Throughout the past 30 years, I've managed to memorize quite a few of the famous games of all ages, Xian Wuntian replied.
Which famous games have you memorized? Mr. Blackwhite asked excitedly. He got him.
For example, the game Wang Zhi watched when he encountered celestial beings on Mount Decayed Helve, the game Liu Zhongpu played at the fairy granny on Mount Li, and the game Wang Jixing heard between the mother and the daughter-in-law fairy foxes. Before he even finished, Mr. Blackwhite had begun shaking his head in disappointment. Those are only myths. How can they be credible? And how could there be real game manuals from those myth stories? At that word, he let go of Xiang Wenxian's shoulder. Well, at first, I also thought these were just stories made up by busybodies. But 25 years ago, when I saw the game manual for the game between Liu Zhongpu and the fairy granny of Mount Li with my own eyes, I realized how pointed and profound each move was. Nothing an ordinary person could have made up. That was when I believed wholeheartedly that the myth story was real. Is Senior Master also fond of this game? Mr. Paint suddenly burst into an uncontrolled laugh. His long beard fluttered about once again. Why are you laughing? Xiang Wenxian asked. Didn't you ask my second brother if he is fond of the game of Go? My second brother's name is Mr. Blackwhite. You tell me if he likes the game or not. The way the second brother loves the game of Go is just like how I love the art of drinking, Mr. Paint said amusedly. Good heavens, Second Master, please excuse my random talk. That's like displaying one's slight skill before an expert, Xiang Wenxian said hurriedly. Did you really see the game manual for the game between Liu Zhongpu and the fairy granny of Mount Li? Mr. Blackwhite asked. I've seen recordings from ancient journals about this story. It said that Liu Zhongpu was the national champion at the time, but he lost miserably to a countryside granny at the foot of Mount Li and spat out several liters of blood from the frustration. That's why this famous game manual was named the Blood-Spitting Manual. Could this blood-spitting manual really exist in this world? When he first entered the room, his face had looked completely indifferent, but now it was covered with excitement. 25 years ago, I had the chance of reading it in the old residence of a well-known family in Chengdu, Sichuan. Because it was just such a stunning battle, even after 25 years, I could still remember every single one of the entire 112 moves, Xiang Wenxian elaborated. His voice is too low. There are a total of 112 moves? Why don't you show it to me? Come on, let's go to my game room to set it up, Mr. Blackwhite proposed anxiously. Mr. Paint stretched his arms out and blocked the way. Hold it, second brother. If you don't make ice for me, see if I'll ever let you leave, he said as he took out a white china basin filled with clear water. Alas, each of the four brothers has his own thing to be crazy about. It's hopeless, Mr. Blackwhite sighed. He stretched out his right hand and inserted his index finger into the water. Only a short moment later, faint traces of white mist began rising from the water's surface, and soon hoar frost began forming along the edges of the basin. Before long, a thin layer of ice appeared at the water surface. The ice grew thicker and thicker, and only minutes later, the water inside the basin had all turned into cold ice. Xiang Wenxian and Ling Hucheng both cheered loudly. I heard that the violent wind finger kung fu had been lost in the martial world. Who would have thought that the second master, Xiang Wenxian said. This is not the violent wind finger. This is called the profound heavenly finger, which is a much more advanced kung fu in comparison with the truculent, violent wind finger kung fu, Mr. Paint clarified promptly. Without any delay, he had placed 4 wine cups on top of the ice as he... Oh wait, that's Mr. Paint talking. Without any delay, he had placed 4 wine cups on top of the ice as he spoke, and filled them with grape wine. Shortly afterwards, traces of white mist began rising from the surface of the wine. Now, Ling Huchong said. Picking up a wine cup, Mr. Paint tossed the wine down, and sure enough, the wine tasted thick and mellow, and there was not a trace of bitterness. In addition, a taste of cool and refreshing was also added to the wine and made it even more delicious. He couldn't help but praise. How marvelous! Now, I did a great job brewing the wine. Brother Feng did a great job explaining it. Second brother did a great job making the ice. Well, what about you? He grinned at Xiang Wenxian. You did a great job stooging alongside. Mr. Black White drank up his wine casually, didn't even pay any attention to the flavor of it. Grabbing Xiang Wenxian's arm, he pulled. Come on, show me how Liu Zhongpu's blood-spitting manual looks like. Define hoarfrost? Hoarfrost, I think it's just a type of frost, right? No? Do I have to define what type of frost it is? It's like, I think it's the frost that goes a little bit like bloop, 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 bloop. It's the frost that's like hoary. Fuck. You know, I don't know how to explain it. It's the frost that looks like little fingers. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna say. It's a type of frost. Can I just say that? A grayish white crystalline deposit of frozen water vapor formed in clear still water on vegetation. Isn't that just frost? Oh, it's just frost, guys. No? Wait, let's look up some images. Hoar frost. What is the difference between hoar frost and frost? You tell me that if you're so smart. It's the frost that collects on plants. I don't know. That's not the definition. Look. Oh, on vegetation, fences, etc. Isn't that just frost? What is frost then? I don't know, guys. I feel like I'm justified here. It's like frost. It's just frost. Yeah. No. That doesn't count. It's just frost. Because from the definition here, it's just like, it's the same thing. Hoar frost is hoarier. Yeah, it's very hoary. Nope. I'm giving myself credit for that. That doesn't count. I'm still 3 songs in. Alright, let's do this. Xiang Wenxian gave Ling Huchong's sleeve a gentle pull, and Ling Huchong immediately understood. I'd like to go take a look myself, he said. I bet you there's nothing interesting about it. Why don't you and I stay here and enjoy our wine? Mr. Paint suggested. We can watch the game and enjoy our wine at the same time, Ling Huchong replied, and began walking, following behind Mr. Blackwhite and Xiang Wenxian. Oh, there's another one? Oh my god, you guys. Gamesmanship. The definition for gamesmanship.
Isn't that just like sportsmanship? Like what is sportsmanship? Like you're not a sore loser. You're oh god. What is sportsmanship? It's like you're not too. Oh no. How do I explain it? I have this idea in my head of what sportsmanship is. But when you think about it, what does it mean? Basically, like you're a good player, like a not like a good, not good as in technically good, but good as in you're like you're not a sore loser, you're not a sore winner, you're very gracious, you follow the rules, you don't cheat, things like that, right? Yeah, like yeah, like you're a good player. All right, let's look at that. Gamesmanship. Oh no! The art of winning games by using various ploys and tactics. So it's not sportsmanship. Let's go sportsmanship. Oh, fair and generous behavior or treatment of others. Okay, well that's what I was thinking. Apparently gamesmanship is the art of winning games by using ploys and tactics. Damn it. That's 4 songs. You bastards. That is 4 songs. Jesus Christ. I did not have gamesmanship in this game that we're playing right now. That's a record, guys. That's a record. That's 4 karaoke songs. Have mercy. The game room was a very spacious room, but other than a stone table and 2 soft chairs in the middle of the room, it was completely empty. The top of the stone table had been carved into a game board with a grid of 19 vertical and 19 horizontal lines. On the 2 ends of the checkerboard sat 2 baskets, one filled with black game pieces and one with white ones, apparently having no other articles in the room except the table, the chairs, and the game pieces was to minimize distractions for the players. Jiang Wenxian walked to the stone table and then placed 1 game piece on each of the star points on the 4 corners of the game board. Next, he set a white game piece on the 6-3 intersection and a black game piece on the 9-3 intersection, a white game piece on the 6-5 intersection, and a black game piece on the 9-5 intersection. He went on and placed 1 game piece after another onto the game board, gradually slowing down as he went. The black side and the white side began a fierce dogfight from the very beginning of the game, and neither side had even 1 poor move. Mr. Black-White looked at the game board with fixed stares, and soon sweat streamed down his forehead. Ling Wuchang found himself baffled by the scene. He had witnessed how Mr. Black-White turned water into ice with his profound heavenly finger, Kung Fu, which would have required extraordinary inner energy cultivation, but he didn't even break a sweat. Playing Go was only an unorthodox school, yet he was sweating profusely just watching a game. When one had great concern about something, he would more likely to lose his rationale. This man was crazy about the game of Go, and Xiang Wenxian most probably had picked this weakness of his intentionally as a breakthrough. Sure enough, when Mr. Black-White noticed Xiang Wenxian hadn't put any game piece down a long while after he showed the 66th move, he turned impatient.
What about the next move? He asked.
That is a key step of the game. Where do you think the next game piece should be at? Xian Wenqian grinned. Mr. Black-White pondered upon the question for quite a while, and finally muttered,
Well, where do I want to put this one? A Suke move would be inappropriate. A Dame move would not be right. A Sagari move wouldn't make it through, and to make two eyes seem impossible. Well.
I think those are all go moves. Holding a white game piece with his index finger and middle finger, he rapped on the stone table with it. But after almost half an hour, he was still unable to decide where on the game board to put this game piece. By then, Mr. Paint and Ling Huchong had each drank up 17 or 18 cups of wine already.
Brother Tong, isn't this the blood-spitting manual? Do you really want my second brother to spit up blood because of it? Whatever the next step is, why don't you just tell us what is straightforward? Noticing that Mr. Black-White's face began turning livid, Mr. Paint proposed.
All right, the 67th move should be right here, Jiang Wenqian replied as he placed a game piece at the 7-4 intersection.
Splendid, Mr. Black-White called out as he smacked his thigh with excitement. To place the game piece there is a brilliant move indeed.
Liu Zhangpu's this move is, of course, a brilliant move, but it's only a clever move from a mortal champion. When compared to the divine move from the Mount Li Fairy Granny, it is far inferior, Xiang Wenxian said with a smile.
What about the divine move from the Mount Li Fairy Granny?
Mr. Black-White inquired eagerly. Second master might as well give it a try, Xian Wenxian said. Mr. Black-White pondered upon it deeply, but could only conclude that this was destined to be a losing battle, and it would have been impossible to turn the tide, so he shook his head.
Since it is a divine move, how can any one of us mortals figure it out? Brother Tong, there's no need to sell the climax.
This move contained wonderful foresight. It really takes an immortal to figure it out. Xian Wenxian grinned again. Mr. Black-White was an expert in gamesmanship, thus also became very proficient in reading an opponent's mind, since Xian Wenxian wouldn't just speak out the game manual frankly, which made his heart itchier by the second. He reckoned that Xian must have had something he wanted in return.
Brother Tong, if you tell me this game manual, I assure you that you wouldn't be disappointed.
Ling Huchong thought to himself. Is it possible that Brother Xiang knew this second master's profound heavenly finger kung fu can cure my injuries? That's why he went around in such a big circle for the request. Brother Feng, I have nothing to request of the four masters of the manor. Second master's words must have really put us down. The second master's words have really put us two. Second master's words have really put us two down. Xian Wenqian raised his head and said, Define a safari move? Hell no. That is the name of a go move. I don't have to define it.
I beg your pardon for my discreet remark.
Mr. Black-White bowed deeply. Xiang Wenxian and Ling Huchong also bowed in return. The two of us came to the Plum Manor because we'd like to make a wager with the four masters, Xiang Wenxian said.
Make a wager? What kind of wager?
Mr. Black-White and Mr. Paint asked in unison. I want to make a wager that no one in the Plum Manor can beat Brother Feng here in sword arts, Xian Wenxian answered. Whoa! Didn't expect that. At those words, Mr. Black and Mr. Paint both turned to look at Ling Huchong. Mr. Black-White's face looked apathetic, with no sign of approval or disapproval. Mr. Paint, on the other hand, broke into a loud laugh. What's the stake, then? Mr. Paint asked. If we lose, I'll give this painting to fourth master, Xian Wenxian replied as he untied the package on his back and opened it, inside which were 2 scrolls. Wow, this guy is like, he's prepared. When did he think of this plan here? Xiang Wenxian opened one of the scrolls, and a very antiquated painting appeared in front of everyone's eyes. At the upper right corner of the painting, of the autograph read, "Traveler in Mount Brook, painted by Fan Zhongli of the Northern Song." In the painting, a towering mountain shot up to the sky, steep and magnificent, well illustrated with a thick ink style. Even though Ling Hucheng had little knowledge about painting, he could still tell that this scenery painting was an excellent piece of art. The awe-inspiring mountain stood tall and upright. Although it was only a picture on the canvas, one still couldn't help but feel admiration soaring in his heart. "Holy cow!" Mr. Paint cried out, fixing his eyes upon the painting. He could no longer look away. After a good while he finally spoke again. "This is the authentic work of Fan Quan in the Northern Song era. Where did you get it?" Xian Wentan smiled but did not answer. Slowly he began rolling the painting into a scroll. "Wait!" Mr. Paint called out. He reached out and pulled Xian Wentan's arm, trying to stop Xian from rolling the painting. But as soon as his hand touched Xiang's arm, a stream of soft yet vigorous inner energy shot out of Xiang's arm and gently pushed his palm away. Xiang Wenxian looked as though he had no idea about what had just happened and slowly rolled the painting back into a scroll. Mr. Paint was amazed. When he had pulled Xiang Wenxian's arm just now, he had not really put much strength into the pull, afraid that he might damage the painting, but the inner energy push from Xiang's arm clearly showed very advanced energy cultivation. Moreover, apparently Xian had not used his inner energy to the full extent. He felt his admiration growing inwardly. Done! Ugh! That was a good chapter. We finally got to the wager of the wager. So one of the brothers likes wine and the other one likes Go. I wonder what the other 2 brothers like. There are 4 brothers. Yeah. And it looks like Xian Wenxian had prepared all of this beforehand. Like, when did he prepare all of this? Like, this is a master plan that's in the works right now, it seems. Were the paintings stolen as well? Yeah, I think he stole everything. He stole the clothing. He probably went into some rich guy's home and stole the painting. Oh god. Yeah, 4 karaoke songs. Jesus Christ. Let me go pee. Let me go pee for a bit. And then we'll sing, and then we'll end it out. Alright, be right back. All right. Good chapter? Yeah, it was good. It was all stolen. I do think so. All right, think of some songs for me to sing. Songs you want me to sing karaoke. Careless Whisper? Hey, that's a good song. That's a good song. Yeah, anything songs. But Careless Whisper is a good song. Do you guys want me? Let me turn off Discord. Do you guys want me to sing that Evangelion song? The theme song? I practiced it a couple of times. It's in Japanese. You know what? Let's do it. Let's do it. I want to sing it. Evangelion. All right. Let's do this. You guys know Evangelion, right? The anime? How do you pronounce that? I never know how to pronounce this. Neon Genesis Evangelion. Some people say Evangelion. Evangelion. That can't be right. But I always say Evangelion. Cruel Angel's Thesis. That's right. In Japanese. Let's do this. Karaoke. All right. I'm saying it right. It's Evangelion. The good enough way to say it in English. Okay, let's do it. I don't know if I can do this. 残酷な天使のようにもしも二人会えたことに意味があるなら私はそう自由を知るためのバイクル残酷な天使の手で悲しみがそして始まる抱きしめた命の形そう夢に目覚めた時誰よりも怒りを晴らす少年よ死ぬ輪になれ人は愛を紡ぎながら歴史を作る女神なんてなれないまま私は死ぬ残酷な天使の手で窓辺からやがて飛び出すほとばしる熱いパトスで思い出を裏切るならこの空を抱いて輝く少年よ死ぬ輪になれI think I nailed that one. Everything I do it for you. Oh, I know that song, I think. What was the other one? What was the other one that you guys... Oh, Careless Whisper. Let's do Careless Whisper. One song down, 3 more to go. I practiced that song for like a week. I think I did pretty well. Careless Whisper. I hope I remember it. This is gonna go really badly. Hakuna Matata? Hakuna. Oh, I can do that too. All right, Careless Whisper.
T-Mobile is now America's largest and fastest 5G
listen
network.
to this ad.
Right now, current and
Smart, but leave me alone. There you go. There you go. There you go. Oh, it is Valentine's Day. Oh, totally Eclipse of the Heart. Yeah. Hey, love songs for Valentine's Day. This is good. That's a good idea. Let's do Total Eclipse of the Heart. Oh God, I hope I remember that. Totally. That's 2 songs down. 2 to go. 2 to go. Total Eclipse of the Heart.
Pampers Cruisers 360 Fit.
Come on. These are ads. Okay. Oh, there's another Total Eclipse of the Heart. There's that remix version. But we don't have to do that. Every now and then I get a little bit lonely and you never come around. Every now and then I get a little bit tired of listening to the sound of my tears. Every now and then I get a little bit nervous that the best of all the years have gone by. Every now and then I get a little bit terrified and then I see the look in your eyes. Every now and then I fall apart. Every now and then I fall apart. And I need you now tonight. And I need you more than ever. And if you'll only hold me tight, we'll be holding on forever. And we'll only be making it right. 'Cause we'll never be wrong. Together we can take it to the end of the line. Yeah. Oh, what about Air Supply, All Out of Love? That's good for a Valentine song, right? Only one song left. You got one song left. How about Air Supply? I'm All Out of Love. That's looking good on the recommended. You guys know that song? I'm all out of love. I'm so lost without you. Freebird. Not gonna lie, I'm not that familiar with Freebird. I'm sure if I listen to it, I'll know. Maybe I'll know the song. Oh, sorry. Sorry, but turn around, bright eyes. Gradually Watermelon. I don't know what that song is. All right, I'm doing Air Supply then. All right, last Valentine song. Oh, wait, hold on.
Stop, stop, stop. All out of love.
All right, let's do this. How did the song go again?
I'm lying alone with my head on the phone, thinking of you till it hurts. I know you hurt too, but what else can we do? Tormented and torn apart. I wish I could say you smile in my heart for times when my life seems so low. It would make me believe what tomorrow could bring when today doesn't really know. Doesn't really know. I'm all out of love. I'm so lost without you. I know you were right, believing for so long. I'm all out of love. What am I without you? I can't be too late to say that I was so wrong. I want you to come back and carry me home, away from this long, lonely night. I'm reaching for you. Are you feeling it too? Does the feeling seem all so right? What would you say if I call on you now and said that I can't hold on? There's no easy way, it gets harder each day. Please love me or I'll be gone. I'll be gone. I'm all out of love. I'm so lost without you. I know you were right, believing for so long. I'm all out of love. What am I without you? I can't be too late to say that I was so wrong. Ooh, what are you thinking of? 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 I'm all out of love. I'm so lost without you. I know you were right, believing for so long. I'm all out of love. What am I without you? I can't be too late to know I was so wrong. I'm all out of love. I'm so lost without you. I know you were right, believing for so long. I'm all out of love. What am I without you? I can't be too late. I know I'm so wrong. I'm all out of love. I'm so lost without you. I know you were right, believing for so long. I'm all out of love. What am I without you? I can't be too late to say that I was so wrong.
Yeah. There you go. Happy Valentine's Day. I'm on a roll. All right, what else you want, boys and girls? You want another song? What's another good love song? Let's say Eye of the Tiger. That is not a love song. I'm just looking for another love song. Oh, do you guys know this song? Let's see. Oh, what is that band? What is that one? One second, you guys. Karaoke. What is that song? It goes, breathe in for luck, breathe in so deep. This air is blessed. Oh, Dashboard Confessional. Let's do that. How about that? Last song for the night. Last Valentine's love song. It's Dashboard Confessional, hands down. Let's hope this is a good karaoke version.
File with the help of an expert, or let an expert file for you. Intuit TurboTax Live.
This is not the song, this is an ad. Okay, yeah. Is the not so sure about this one. Breathe in for luck, breathe in so deep. This air is blessed, you share with me. This night is wild, so calm and dull. These hearts, they race from self-control. Your legs are smooth as they graze mine. We're doing fine, we're doing nothing at. My hopes are so high that your kiss might kill me. So won't you kill me, so I die happy. My heart is yours to fill or burst, to break or bury, or wear as jewelry, whichever you prefer. The words are hushed, let's not get busted. Just lay entwined here, undiscovered. Safe from here, from all the stupid questions. Hey, did you get some? Man, that is so dumb. Stay quiet, stay near, stay close, they can't hear, so we can get some. My hopes are so high that your kiss might kill me. So won't you kill me, so I die happy.
My heart is yours to fill or burst, to break or bury, or wear as jewelry, whichever you prefer. Hands down, this is the best day I can ever remember. Always remember the sound of the stereo, the dim of the soft lights, the sense of your hair that you twirl in your fingers, and the time on the clock when we realize it's so late in this walk that we shared together. The streets were wet and the gate was locked, so I jumped in and I let you in. And you stood at your door with your hands on my waist, and you kissed me like you meant it. And I knew that you meant it, that you meant it, that you meant it. And I knew that you meant it, that you meant it.
Yeah, that went pretty well, didn't it? Yeah, the word moist is really bad. I don't know why. Oh, Kokomo, Beach Boy. That's a good song too. But we gotta stop. We gotta stop. I think we did 5 songs already. All right, you guys. Well, I hope that was fun. That was a good 5 Valentine songs, right? Yeah. Thanks, Pokemon Go. I love your game. That was Dashboard Confessional. That was a great song. Yeah. All right, guys. I love you, and I'll see you later. Oh, I didn't drink. Oh, whatever. I'll see you next week, all right? Have a good Valentine's Day. All right, bye. My new album drops next week.